So I love what you're saying about all of these things. They're very progressive, very forward thinking.
That's scary.
It is scary, especially a politician. Like we're not used to our politicians being so proactive. But what gives you that experience? Like, where's your experience coming from that you're ready to take on these issues?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been in the home lending industry for the last 14 years. I've grown up locally. I've always lived in the general CNY area, lived in the town of Clay specifically for the last 15 years. And I try to be involved in a lot of things. I have a 14-year-old son, so the amount of youth sports that we have been involved in over the years, and as you know,
I can
all you have
attest.
to do is have a pulse, and they're like, you can volunteer.
True.
So so it's really a meld of a lot of different experiences. I've also been very, very lucky to have some great mentors between different jobs that I've had just in my personal life. And I think that has given me a viewpoint to look at where things can go, but also know that things can be really hard sometimes. And I think it's important not to forget those that, struggle along the way. Or, going back to the town aspect, that's, you know, the cost of living, right? The cost of housing. What is this going to do to the cost of rent? And are we focusing on building homes that people can afford, not just $800,000 homes? And are there subsidies available for that? I think that all of that, I'm able to come at it from a different viewpoint because my job is in home lending, right? I'm in mortgage. And also, I've struggled to pay rent before. It's where my husband and I are currently is so different than how I grew up, or how I was in my early 20s. And I'm so thankful for that, but I think it's also important to remember how hard it was and the people that helped you along the way, and to come at it from just a place of compassion is, shouldn't be that hard.
Wow, a banker with compassion.
It's just breaking all the boundaries here.
I know, seriously. Now, I've got something to say to you all out there. I don't know if you heard her, but I was talking about something and she said to bring it back to the town, right? Just like Sharon Owens was always bringing it back to the city of Syracuse. Just like Hannah Ehrenreich was always bringing it back to the city of Syracuse. These candidates that I'm bringing you are passionate about the communities that they live in and the things that they want to achieve, not just for them, but for you too. All right. I just want you to recognize that. Now, Courtney, these people out there have been listening to your story. Some of them live in Clay. Some of them are Clay adjacent and they understand a lot of what you're talking about. So what do you want them to do? This is a show about action. You got to get up and do something.
I think the biggest thing is just getting out to vote, right? It's an off-year election. It's so hard to get people out when there's not a governor to vote for, when there's not a president to vote for. It's not as exciting. A lot of people don't even think about it. And that's where the majority of your decisions are being made, are in these off-year elections that have such a low voter turnout.
They take the biggest bite out of your pocketbook and they take the first bite. All right. So I have a question in your race. When it comes down to numbers, Democrats versus Republicans, because you're a Democrat, I'm progressive Democrat, and Republicans, what's the breakdown?
So the town of Clay as a whole has more registered Democrats than Republicans, which is super interesting. And then there's a whole huge amount of independent voters. And that's kind of flipped around recently, semi-recently. What's super interesting about the town of Clay is that the board is made up of all Republicans, other than there is a Democrat, Dave Capria, who got elected this past year in a special election. He is the first Democrat to be elected to the town board since 1990, I believe.
And this is a Democrat majority district.
And even if you say over the years Democrats haven't been the majority, they haven't been the 0%, right? So the fact that the town board is so heavily leaning towards one party that is not in the current majority, I think, is just a testament to the fact that off-year elections matter. Getting people out to vote matters. And regardless of what party you find yourself falling in line with, I think there should be a difference of opinions in the room. I think I said to you when you and I met at another event, I wouldn't necessarily want the whole board to be Democrat either. I don't think that anybody would want that. A difference of viewpoints in the room matters, be that different parties, be that different age groups, which isn't fully there, be that different genders. I mean, the board is made up of 6 council people and a supervisor, and there's one woman out of the 7 voters that are there to make decisions. I would say the age demographic probably definitely leans a little older. They come to it with great experience and great perspectives, but there's other perspectives that are equally as important that just are not being represented.
Yeah, well, I like that. I think you're talking about diversity.
Yeah.
And
Well,
when we have diversity, we have like a strong foundation, because what one person doesn't know, another person does.
Yeah.
And we can bring that together and we can knit a stronger community. I really like what you said there. Your job out there is to find a friend and take them to go vote, because my challenge to you, Democrats in Clay, is to get out there and show the world and Courtney Gauthier how Democrats can vote.
November 4th.
November 4th. Get out there and elect Courtney to your town board. She will do the work for you. I promise. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you so much.
Bye for now.